Thanks, Martin. Now, Britain's fiercely competitive retail market claimed another high-profile victim today. Electricals chain Comet confirmed that it plans to go into administration next week. The move puts in jeopardy more than 6,000 jobs at the company's 240 stores. Our business correspondent Ali Bunkle reports.
The deals are good, but not good enough. It's been a slow death for Comet over a few years, and now its days look to be numbered.
Washing machine now $249.
Administration looms, and it will take an awful lot of luck and a buyer willing to take a punt if Comet isn't to join the likes of Woolworths.
The bargains keep on coming at the Comet sale.
Comet's credit insurers, the people who protect Comet suppliers should the company default, have withdrawn their support. That has left Comet the responsibility of paying up front for all the goods that it buys in, and it simply cannot afford to do that. And there is another reason.
Comet's business model is based on edge-of-town superstores, and there was a time, not that long ago in fact, that was the height of convenience. But that's not convenient anymore, not when we can now shop online.
These two factors combined, and the reluctance of consumers to spend big in difficult economic times, has left Comet in what is probably an impossible position.
It's this loss of faith and loss of confidence, regardless of whether you're operating well as a business or not, is what can really do send a business under.
And if the credit insurers desert you, the suppliers desert you as well.
Well, it's a fait accompli.
Originally founded as a battery store in the 1930s, Comet opened its first superstore in Hull back in 1968. It became one of Britain's biggest electrical supply stores with 240 branches across the UK, and what would seem to be its inevitable collapse ranks it among one of the larger companies to find itself in trouble of late. 6,000 jobs are now at risk.
Well, yeah. It's a shame any of these type of places go.
You get more stuff online, but in stores, if it's a small branch, you don't get all the facilities that you need, whereas you get it in a bigger one. So if you go online, you get everything that you need.
They closed down. What alternative? I can go to quarries and other shops.
There are other shops that you'll go to.
Yeah.
You'll just transfer your business, as it were, elsewhere.
Oh yeah.
And that attitude will be quite a significant one, because Currys, already breathing down Comet's neck on some sites, will undoubtedly benefit. The move into administration will be made official next week. There are the smallest slivers of hope. Some stores could be shut, others just offloaded. But it's been a downhill slope for some years, and the slope is now a cliff edge. Alistair Bunkle, Sky News, South East London.
Well, I'm joined here in the Gherkin by Richard Perks, retail analyst at Mintel. Nice to see you back on the show, Richard. When I heard this today, my initial reaction was one of surprise that it's taken so long for this to happen.
Yes, it's had support. I mean, the last one was when Op Capita bought it, and Kaiser paid Op Capita 50 million just to take it off its hands. And Kaiser took the pension liabilities. But, you were never going to turn around a business like that in a year.
Just rewind the video there. That is an extraordinary event, isn't it? So the owner pays a venture capital group 50 million quid to tow it away.
Absolutely.
And keeps the pension liabilities.
Yes.
That tells us something, doesn't it? It must have been in a shocking state. What did, what's this company called?
Op Capita.
Op Capita. What did it think it knew that we didn't?
I don't really understand the Op Capita deal. Why did it take it if it was going to plan to run it as a going concern? It's only had a year. There's no way it would have been able to turn it around in a year. It needed much more time and money than that. You somehow can't believe that was what it planned to do. Well, one gathers it's invested 35 million, so it's got 15 million clear profit at the moment. Perhaps that's the answer.
Well, one hopes it's not that cynical. Could it be that cynical?
Yes,
you
I'm
get
afraid
50
it could.
million quid.
It could easily be.
You know you're going to lose 20, 30 million quid in a year. You'll pocket the rest. Really?
It's possible. Why else take it?
What about the prospect for this as an ongoing concern? It seems to me yet another story of a company with a chain of underperforming stores that has failed to adapt to the online market. Is that it?
I don't think it's as simple as that. I think there's much more to it. When Kaiser took over Comet, which is 10, 15 years ago, it came out with a new format. It really invested in the business. It improved the service standards, and it did very well. It did very well at a time when Dixons was doing very badly. And I think it just then neglected it. It didn't do anything else with it. It just let it drift. So when suddenly Dixons improved, as it did under John Browett, Comet was left there, desperately needing investment. It refused to do what it should have done, going to very large stores.
Richard, when you say investment, what kind of investment? Sprucing up the stores
Yes.
or something else?
You can't just neglect stores and let them look worse and worse. You've got to keep investing in them. It should have gone for larger stores as well, as Currys has done. I think the Currys business at the moment is looking absolutely terrific. And Currys is competing against the internet because it can combine range and service. And so you go to the Currys store, and if you want to buy it online, well, you're very likely to go to the Currys website.
So what's going to happen to these 240 stores and 6,000 staff? Is it all gloom?
It's difficult to see much hope. I mean, there's stories of people approaching Op Capita for the business, but it's bad news for them. It's bad news for the electricals market. It means there's only one major specialist player left in the market, and that's not good.
And yet, even more empty retail space in Britain.
Yes, but a lot of that retail space has been taken up. You know, if you just look back, it takes time. It always takes time. But most of those Woodies stores have now been taken up, and they've been taken up by far better retailers than Woodies ever was. Well, and that's good news for the high street.
Let's hope that happens at Comet. Indeed. Richard, nice to see you. Thank you for coming in. Next on Jeff Randall Live.